Online plagiarism. With a boost in information and communication technology nowadays, there are more and more ICT-based educational practices. Such a development has also been coupled with benefits and risks. Disputably, one of the prominent risks in the academic circle these days seems to be that easy access to the internet has helped more individuals plagiarize. This presentation first explains the definition of online plagiarism along with the term plagiarism. Next, it describes why students plagiarize. Then it discusses how it impacts students, teachers, and educational institutions. Finally, it suggests how education system of a particular country can do to solve it and how I intend to solve the problem as an educator. So, what are plagiarism and online plagiarism? According to plagiarism.org, the term plagiarism refers to the reproduction or appropriation of someone else's work without proper attribution or passing off as one's own the work of someone else. It has two components: taking the words, work, or ideas from a source, and no attribution given to the source in using the words, work, or ideas. An author characterized plagiarism as directly copying 4 lines or more, poorly paraphrased 4 lines or more, evidence without citations, lack of full reference for the evidence, and any combination of them. Online plagiarism means a recent kind of plagiarism by getting online assistance in which individuals do academic misconduct such as cutting and pasting text, falsifying references, using illegally bought papers, and submitting others' work as their own. Online plagiarism is also referred to as cyber-plagiarism, internet plagiarism, and cyber cheating. In fact, online plagiarism is much more complicated than plagiarism, and so is much more difficult to resolve. So, why do students plagiarize? They plagiarize for several reasons. Students are said to cheat owing to their laziness, weak morality, or negligence or rules. But a close research analysis shows that students plagiarize because of insufficient sense of integrity, need of maturity, unawareness of online ethical practices, little experience with a specific kind of writing, little interest in the assignment, peers plagiarism affecting them, and desire to get or maintain high grades. Sterngold asserts that traditional teaching practices also invite online plagiarism nowadays. It is a fact that even postgraduate adults plagiarize because they want to get good grades. What are impacts of online plagiarism on students, teachers, and educational institutions? Well, it is common knowledge that this new version of plagiarism has had great impact on students, teachers, and educational institutions. Regarding its impact on students, online plagiarism can affect many students. There are generally 2 kinds of plagiarists: those who plagiarize deliberately, and those who plagiarize unintentionally. Although the second group tend to plagiarize because of their poor knowledge or skills in writing, or their carelessness, the first group seem to rely on online materials for their assignments. While the second group can be easily caught, it is difficult to catch the first group. The most significant impact of online plagiarism is that it allows individuals to do such an academically dishonest conduct easily and quickly in several ways. 10 ways of online plagiarism are clone or turning in other work exactly as one's own, Control-C or copying parts of text from others' work, find replace or changing keywords with essential things intact, remix or paraphrases from different materials pieced together, recycle or self-plagiarism, hybrid or using other texts with and without citations, mashup or combining copied text from different sources, 404 error or containing false unsearchable citations, aggregator or containing appropriate citations but without originality, and retweet or containing appropriate citations but using almost identical original wording and forms. Students commit online plagiarism because they think their teachers will not know it. The second impact of internet plagiarism on students is seen in the case of pilfered papers. Morgan and Vaughan differentiates paper mills from online writing assistance services OWAS papers. They mention that paper mills are repositories of previously submitted student papers and OWAS papers are original texts written by ghostwriters for profit. Students with academic dishonesty buy papers from such paper mills and OWAS sites, especially the papers from the second, which are guaranteed to be undetected. Therefore, it has become a serious issue for the educational institutions. Concerning impact of online plagiarism on teachers, there seem to be three significant points they should consider and put into practice. First, teachers need to update their teaching methods and assessment means in order to engage students and encourage them to do their own work. Instead of using traditional teacher-centered instruction, it would be more engaging to the students to use learning-based teaching methods and to put into practice plagiarism prevention assessment tasks. Sterngold also recommends updating teaching methods and proposes several effective plagiarism prevention strategies. Second, they need to update their knowledge and skills in tackling with plagiarism-related matters. Advanced technology and emerging social phenomena also seem to make them responsible for keeping students fully aware of plagiarism, how to avoid it, and punishments for plagiarists. Third, with a high possibility of online plagiarism among higher education students come the teachers' responsibilities to be extremely careful in assessing the students' works and detecting plagiarism. With reference to the effect of internet plagiarism on educational institutions, four related factors appear to be important in this digital age. First, as online plagiarism is on the rise, it is essential to ensure that higher educational institutions like colleges and universities maintain their good reputation. However, it is interesting to learn that most universities tend to keep their plagiarism cases secret in fear of degrading their integrity. Second, colleges and universities need to make sure that they keep and better their students' quality by formulating sound plagiarism prevention policy. Third, the high likelihood of online plagiarism among students make it necessary to use plagiarism detecting services like Turnitin.com to help reduce students' academic misconduct. Fourth, increasing online plagiarism asks for urgent proactive and preventive measures like effectively rendering plagiarism education to be taken by higher education institutions. Now, let's look at how we can solve the problem of online plagiarism. For educational system as a whole, online plagiarism may be solved in four ways. One way is to make rigorous punishment policy for plagiarists. Such a policy has high potential for ensuring that students have considerable academic integrity for their works. However, the policy need to be supported by the official use of the internet and useful services. Therefore, the second way of solving the problem is to have educational institutions use a specific plagiarism detecting service PDS like Turnitin.com for checking plagiarized texts and giving appropriate penalty for the plagiarists according to the policy. Although Turnitin.com has some weaknesses including its inability to identify some OWAS papers, it can be considered to be reliable as it can help detect the majority of plagiarized works efficiently. However, several scholars argue that detecting and punishing the plagiarists can result in other problems like protestations of some students who cheat. The third and most important solution for online plagiarism seems to be that students are educated by a theoretical and practical approach about the meaning of plagiarism, how to avoid it, and penalties for plagiarists, and encourage them to keep strong academic integrity. Online plagiarism tutorials can be a useful plagiarism educating device for institutions. In order to prevent plagiarism in a proactive manner, Evering and Moorman suggests two-step approach, to create a culture of academic integrity, and to provide students with plagiarism education. The fourth viable solution is to ensure that the faculty, the most important persons in higher education institutions, are also trained to be fully aware of and responsible for plagiarism. As an educator, the presenter believes that at least three major solutions will work for the problem of online plagiarism. First, myriads of online resources and services available to students nowadays make the presenter convinced that access to a particular plagiarism detecting service like Turnitin.com is an indispensable part of solution for this kind of academic dishonesty. Investment in the use of Turnitin.com seems worthy for educational institutions today. By using it, there appear to be three practical benefits: substantial ability to keep good reputation for educational institutions, opportunity given for the students to rewrite and correct their plagiarized texts before being caught, and convenience and effectiveness in assessment and detection for educators, and so more time availability for their other important tasks. Second, as an educator, the presenter will need to do thorough assessment to the students' works in order that they will get grades according to their own merits. This is also important because some OWAS papers and certain improper citations are likely to go undetected. Third, close cooperation with other faculty is also an essential solution for online plagiarism because other faculty members with specialized knowledge in plagiarism-related matters can be invited to give students plagiarism education. Further, the other faculty can also be asked for help with remediating those students who have poor writing and referencing skills so that the students will not do unintentional plagiarism again. Regarding plagiarism education, Howard and Davies' proposition of a three-step solution, that is, to start with instilling in students an enduring sense of valuing others' property, to give hands-on guidelines to students during their online research, and to teach students how to summarize and paraphrase, is quite appealing and practical to the presenter. In conclusion, to combat online plagiarism effectively, the process of educating seems to be the most appropriate way of tackling for the lasting effects on students' academic integrity and for keeping the good reputation of educational institutions, while other necessary measures are being taken wisely at the same time.
Created using Powtoon.